Good morning, I'm your camera lady from behind the scenes to in front of the scenes. Louis, what are we up to today?
Well, today's video is why the IMU method works. But before we start with that video, I'd like to actually discuss what we had in the previous two videos. And there's the background of the IMU. I'm sure you got a lot of understanding on that video. And then also on the IMU versus the mentorship program, the virtual program, what are the key differences. So today is rather a serious video. It's not any more fun in the sun. It's actually getting down to the real gritty stuff of this program. And yeah, I'm sure it'll be rather interesting.
Fantastic.
Okay, in today's video we're going to be talking about why the IMU method.
I'd just like to say that my wife looked quite yellow in the last video.
Fantastic.
Thank you, babe, for your camera work. Yes, continue.
Sure, that wasn't part of the script. But anyway, there we go. We're back to it. And why the IMU method really works, from the implementation of your website to the research to even the fail-safe method of your program. So, Justin, why is the research actually the most important part of the program?
Well, look, I think when most people start out doing business online, they kind of either go with what they think works well, or they go with an idea that they've come up with, or they look at markets and they say, oh, well, that must be doing okay, so there must be an ability to jump in there. With the way we approach internet marketing, research is really a key part of the strategy. We go in and we basically look for viable markets. We've got a whole bunch of checks and balances that we follow to make sure that, you know, we're choosing a good market to go into. And then we also look at levels of competition. There's a whole bunch of stuff we look at, but really the research phase is so important because it sets you up to succeed. If you do the research properly, it's then simply a case of taking the market that you've decided on going into, putting it down into the plan and basically implementing. So, I mean, research is pretty much where this business starts. If you're not doing your research properly, you can have the complete process of how to take a project to market, but if the research hasn't been done correctly, then you could be going into a completely wrong market. You could be going to something that's too competitive, something that doesn't have enough money in it, people aren't spending money in it. So basically the research phase, we sit down and we look for all these aspects so that it's as close to a sure thing as you'll ever get in terms of going into a market.
Okay. And obviously you get better at it with experience.
You definitely do. I mean, look, we've got good tools to obviously help you validate markets, but there is a very large part of this thing hinges on experience.
Yeah.
And obviously the more you do it, the more experienced you become. I mean, as you've been witness to yourself, the first few projects you do is really a very big learning experience until you really get to understand how to research markets properly and how to interpret those markets, because research is one thing, but you've got to have the interpretive skills to be able to understand that research.
Okay, cool. So how does the systematic plan contribute to the IMU process or program?
Well, look, I think once you've found the market to go into and you've done the research phase correctly, the rest of it is really easy. It's plain sailing, because what we've done is we've put together step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, so people don't even have to think about it. As I said in one of the very first videos, I think, I had to set this business up in a way that made sense for me in terms of production line. And at the time, I couldn't find anything out there that gave me a step-by-step plan. I didn't know when to do what, how to do it. And this is what the action plan does. The action plan says to you, okay, you found a market, here are the things to go and do. It's as simple as that. So I think where the action plan contributes to this program's success is that there's a very definite course of action to follow. You know what to do on day 1, all the way through to day 53. You know exactly what needs to be done to launch a project. That includes building the site, building the SEO value of the site, sales copy, article content, building a newsletter, all that stuff. It's all in there. This is what you do day 1, this is what you do day 2. All you have to do is follow the plan. And I think it's Darby in the current mentorship program who made the statement. He said, listen, you can teach a monkey to do this stuff, and it really is that simple.
Okay.
The hard part of this program, I would say, is probably finding the research, is doing the research properly, and then sticking to the plan. Simple as that.
Okay. So tools that are used in the IMU plan, are they any different to other tools out there?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we all know in this industry, there's no shortage of tools. I mean, there's like to market samurais and stomper this thing and stomper that thing.
Okay.
Boss this thing, and you know what, there's all these actually launch these different programs. The tools that we use is not a program per se, it's a set of tools.
Okay.
So it's not one standalone program, it's a set of tools that combine to make this program successful. And I have to say here, not all of these tools are our own tools.
Yeah.
They're external tools, and I think there's a lot of value in that because we are not promoting these tools for the sake of promoting them. We are using them because they're the best tools in the industry at the moment. And in terms of the tools, they are very, very different to what is out there. They're very similar in many ways,
Okay.
but they're also very different in many ways. And the difference comes in terms of the interpretive skills. The interpretive skills is what makes a big difference.
Okay. All right.
Would you like another coffee, by the way?
Please. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, the tools are quite similar to what is in the marketplace, but there are a couple of very key differences, and it's those subtle things in the research phase in our tools and in the implementation that makes a big difference.
Okay.
In fact, I would go as far as to say, if you're not using these tools, you're digging for gold, but you're in the wrong tunnel at the moment. You're close, but you're in the wrong tunnel. So yeah, I mean, the tools are really a critical part of it.
Okay. One aspect of this whole program that I really enjoy, and you know why I really enjoy it, is the fail-safe program. I know it might sound ridiculous that you have a program that's failed, but it's a fail-safe program. What is it? Why?
Yeah. So originally, how this whole thing came up is I was building a lot of projects in the early days, and I mean, it's an enormous amount of time that you put into build projects. It's like a 53-day cycle to take a project from start to finish, okay? And you're investing time, you're investing resources, you're investing money, and sometimes those projects work, sometimes they don't work, depending on how well your research has been done. And I just sat back and I thought there has to be a way to kind of still monetize this thing and make it work even when it fails. There has to be a way. And I eventually found a way of doing it. I found a way of putting a project into the marketplace, and if it failed, to kind of pull it out of the marketplace but still make money from it.
Okay.
And it's totally unconventional to what most people think of, like flipping the site or selling the site. It's such a simple method, but most people miss it. So basically what we do in terms of the fail-safe method is basically just to have something in place that even if you don't succeed in terms of making sales, there's something else that you can do to still get your money back in time back and create a passive income long-term out of it.
Okay, so that's pretty simple, and I'm sure people out there got a lot of insider knowledge on how this program really works and why it actually is as good as everybody says it is. Speaking from my experience, I know it is, and it's working. And I'm sure you've listened to all the interviews and gone through them and understood why it is so special for everybody else. So yeah,
I think the one point that just needs to be made here as a final point is that at the end of the day, we can give you the system, but you need to take action. If you don't take action on the program, you don't follow the steps, and you don't commit to this thing, you're never going to succeed. It's like anything in life. At the end of the day, for this program to work for you, you need to take action.
There we go. Action. You heard it from his mouth, you heard it from my mouth, you heard it from everybody else's mouth in the mentorship program. So, until our next video, goodbye.
Catch you soon.